Hi there, we're currently doing a yearly reading for 2018, so from January to December. So I hope that you guys had a wonderful 2017. I appreciate everyone who has subscribed to this channel. If you haven't, please do. I really appreciate it. The more people I have that subscribe to this channel, the more it motivates me to keep going because I've switched from my daily readings to my weekly readings and my monthly readings because it's very time consuming. So if I know that you guys are all watching and viewing these videos, it really makes me keep going. So thank you for that. We're doing a tarot card reading as well, so we're just kind of picking up on basically the flow of the universe, what's happening according to astrology, according to the people that will be watching these videos. Many people ask me, how do you do this? I don't understand. But the main thing is that the more you learn, the more you grow, and the more you're able to tap into your intuitive side. So I highly recommend, if this stuff interests you, to pass along the word to other people as well, that I do online tarot card classes. So it's $45 for 2 hours, and I will teach you just like this. If you're open to Skype, we can Skype, and otherwise I will just send you a video and teach you how to do these things yourself. So it's pretty amazing stuff. It can take a long time to really get into it, but it's just a matter of practice and it's an amazing thing that you can really apply to your life on a daily basis. And let me tell you, life gets a lot better as you get into these things. So I'm not going to go on about that because it's obvious that you guys are already tuned into this energy. So we actually have a lot of cards, so we're going to do it the way that I pulled them all out and organized them. So we're going to go from January to February to March to April, etc. And that's how we're going to play out the year. So I'm already feeling like a lot of people are going to feel a lot lighter this month. I already feel lighter talking about this month because December has been, I'm doing this in December, and it's been such a crazy month. Lots of positive things happening, but I feel like that's because we're prepping ourselves for January. So January 2018 is, it's about investing money. So finances are coming in very strong. Especially if you're a Capricorn. Capricorns really feel drawn towards money, finances, family, work, a little bit of love in there. But this is about not reading into the future as much as it is reading into, I guess, the energy of where the stars are going to be. So it's a great year for letting go of stress, letting go of worry. Paying more attention to the details is probably going to be very strong in January. So although I teach people to not fixate, it's about trusting that it's important that we pay attention to these details. So if you need to write things down, if you need to organize yourself, buy an organizer, but January is going to be your month for success if you're paying close attention to the minor details. So if you're looking at having a baby, purchasing things for a baby is an asset, just be careful that you're not, again, spending too much money on something that isn't relevant to now. So good to prepare, but not too much to the point where it's taking away from ourselves now. So justice, this is saying that it's really important that we are giving to others financially as well. So in January, if you're writing this down, I highly recommend it. Give to others, financially put forward. Great time for solitude as well, learning from other people. So like getting readings and, like I said, learning about tarot is amazing, but you don't have to spend money in order to gain knowledge and wisdom. There are lots of YouTube videos out there as well. I'm just hearing practice, practice, practice. Same thing with me. I know that as much as it is important for me to teach, I also need to be constantly learning in order to teach more. So it's really important that I'm teaching, but I'm also learning from other people. So very, very interesting month. So For some people, January is saying, and again, walking into February, every month is kind of like January. It can be partial to the next month as well. It's saying that we all have very strong dreams and goals. Just making sure that you're giving yourself credit where credit is needed, because we need to feel free at all times. So what happens is we can feel very restricted when things are too organized, especially with our finances. We feel like limited when we're too organized. So this is saying that feeling like you're the one in control, things can backfire for us at times when we're paying too much attention to things. We are trying to plan, but essentially it takes away from our openness, shall we say. So making sure that you're not closing yourself off to any new opportunities because you're restricting yourselves in any way. So it's great that you're organized, but you also don't want to close yourself off to the point where, again, limiting. I'm repeating myself, so that's normally when it's time to switch over. So February into March, King of Pentacles is saying being practical. So a lot of stuff happening for success. People are really moving forward in their careers, that sort of thing, especially with education. I'm hearing lots of longevity, new clientele, very conservative energy. So it's like things that were lingering aren't lingering anymore, which is amazing. That's 2017 energy. So again, just lots of sophistication. We're really powering through with the things that we want to do. And it's not quick energy as much as it is like we've cleared a lot of old stuff. So now we're able to think a little more clearly about the things that we want for ourselves. I love this. So still on February, this is about emotional growth and letting go of fears. It's saying that going back to fixating, people who spend too much time on the same thought, we're forgetting about the old things in our lives that we still want to pick up and enjoy. I can think for myself, I've been writing a book for years and I keep thinking about it. So February may be a great month for me to kind of pick up that book that I already started writing and just feel better about myself, because it's not about what we do for other people as much as it is like self-gratification. And that's why growth is coming up. So February may be a great month for actually mental stimulation, lots of integrity, giving yourself like, even if you have bad credit, even that's coming up is like giving yourself the benefit of the doubt, just giving yourself more versatility and flexibility in your life to do more things, that sort of thing. So we want lots of breathing space and breathing room for the month of January and February. You don't want to feel like your supply is cut off at all, because it's a great month for replenishing your bank account, replenishing your emotions, that sort of thing. You're actually going to have a little bit of time on your hands, so that's why it's such a great time for success. That makes me really happy. So we'll go into March, King of Swords. This is talking about punctuation. And whenever punctuation comes up, that again, details. So this is like making sure that our finances, if we have any investments, that they're growing. If we're planting any seeds in our life, even if it is a baby, that we know that things are healthy, that that it's going to benefit us in the long run. So you may want to think really long and hard about the time that you're putting into the things that you're doing, and is it worth your time? And if it is, that's great. Then keep digging at those things. But it may also be a time for some people where it's okay to let go. It may be letting go of the past. If things aren't working for you, this is a great opportunity for a new start for some people, whether it's financially, again, education's coming up again. You really want to leave the past behind in March, okay? It's certain people, I feel like, when it comes to feelings, so they're needing to let go of old feelings. It could be relationships, but integrity is coming up. So be mindful of how you feel and making sure that your feelings are the most important thing, that you're not getting walked over or you're not getting hurt by people, that sort of thing. So really protect yourself in the month of March from others. Let's go into April. My favorite month is my birthday. So Seven of Wands is saying that there's some judgment around in April. Education, again, I'm hearing institution. So this is when we're working in living in places where we don't have much control over our own lives. Like, so if you're in school, then we don't necessarily get to schedule our own stuff. So this is saying that there's a lot of human interaction this month, and it's a great month for getting outside and connecting with down-to-earth human beings, things that are natural, nature, that sort of thing. And Feng Shui is also coming up, so in April it may be time to rearrange your furniture, maybe do some spring cleaning. Toxicity is coming up as well, so and hormones, so we may be releasing major past behaviors. So it could be to the point where you feel like you need to get sick in order to get rid of everything that's in your body and start new and replenish so that you can have a new life. So if there's some sickness in your body in April, know that you're clearing things. It sounds weird, but that's what we have to do. We have to get sick before we can get better. This is usually, so just regenerations coming up. This is how we create new paths in our life. So could be very spiritual stuff happening for you in the month of April. Not what I was expecting. So we'll put the Hermit into the end of April as well. So this is saying we're acclimatizing ourselves, meaning we have to adjust to new behaviors, new patterns of life. It's not necessarily what we want. December, we had Mercury retrograde that comes 4 times a year. So we could have some Mercury retrograde stuff happening in there, and this is saying that we need to shy away from like, so sometimes it's like we feel like we always need a new path, we need a new life, and for some people that's okay, but for other people it's saying that I think of myself, I always want new, but the Hermit is saying go within. So sometimes we feel like we get like, I don't want to use the word stuck, but it's like we get, fixated on everything constantly being, let's go, let's go, let's go. And sometimes, so at the end of April, it's saying that for some people, pulling inward is actually going to be the best thing for you. So just be mindful of where your energy is at the end of April and deciding if it's new life that you need, or do you need to go inward and be content and cool with what's going on in the now. So maybe a strong time for meditation practice, solitude, financial stuff may be going on as well. So sometimes we like forget that we have responsibilities, and we kind of get caught up in things. So bringing that energy inwards for some. May, persistence, perseverance, pursuing life goals and dreams. So very interesting. Obviously, when you pull inward like a turtle or something, we find peace in our own environments, and then it allows us to go forward again. So thank God the wheels are back in motion in May. When push comes to shove, arrogance doesn't solve things, although we think that it does. We have to be really careful that we're not hurting other people's feelings, but we also need to plow through people. So that's what's coming up, is finding our balance with, okay, I need to do this and I need to do that. That's sometimes how we get places, but then the flip side of it is saying we could also hurt people. So in May, make sure that if you're consolidating any loans, going back to education, if there are any agreements, could be work related, just make sure that your communication's very clear, you're being honest with yourself, you're making choices, and you're making solid statements, you're making agreements upon things that you know are honest, that you know are true. And it works for you. So when I brought up Feng Shui, like changing and rearranging your home, well, does that make you feel good? Is that for your energy, or is that for the other person that lives in your house? So really make sure. I feel like people are finalizing a lot of stuff, or they're making a lot of changes. Just make sure, double check everything, make sure it's exactly what you want. I'm thinking about selling a home at that time. So I think of that right away. So it's a great time, but just make sure it's exactly what you want, because those are big decisions. June. Okay, so there's strong evidence and strong conclusion in June that you need time to celebrate. You need time to save money. You need to deposit money, funds. You need to get out and self-express in the public. Maybe publish something that's interesting. I was talking about my book. Any anxieties that you have, I do sense or feel that they will be relieved. I sense that there are very strong new beginnings for some, not all. I was talking about planting some seeds, and so these seeds will start to grow in June. But just strong community ties and self-expression. Creativity is great as well. I'm seeing people planting trees as well. And I'm hearing if somebody's was in bankruptcy, now is the time to collect. So start collecting money if people owe you money, or if it's related to collection agencies. Those collection agencies, I feel or sense, are going to be out of your life. So that's really positive. Lots of positive things. We'll go into July. Going back to agreements with other people. Education seems to be big for 2018. Children's also coming up in July. Just any fears that you have around having kids or anything like that, or any worries that you have around your children. There's a lot of peace, I feel, and it's you just worrying too much. So in July, making sure that you're manifesting the things that you want to manifest. Don't put out what you don't want. So it's an amazing month for a lot of people. I'm hearing just to work on receiving. It may be a great month to receive healing. If you do energy work, it's also a great time to give openly, give forwardly, your time, that sort of thing, because some people will be struggling, whereas other people have extra energy. So making sure that you're aware that not everybody's going to be in the same place, and that we can really help each other out. So these two cards are coming up for August. So I usually don't do a yearly reading. This is really cool. Changes. So this is August. Two of Cups combined with the Knight of Wands. So this is about, there's lots of love. I love the beach, so lots of ocean energy is coming up. Lots of refreshing energy in August. So people, I think, are making the decision to feel empowered. They're starting to do things that they want to do. There's lots of peace again. I feel like pizza's coming up, so like eating things that you really like to eat, not worrying as much. So perhaps July's energy is actually you listen to what you're supposed to do. It may be a time where there's healthy competition going on, maybe some games, lots of excitement. There's like talent agencies, so if you're talented, really get in there and dive into the not everyday stuff. So yeah, if you're interested in things like this, I feel like August will be a really positive month for diving into some of your intuitive arts. Travel's also coming up very strongly. Your work ethic will be challenged in this month for some people, so making sure that you're finding balance with work and your play life, that sort of thing. But there's a lot of beauty around this month, and education is just always coming up. So if I can say anything, it may be a month to actually slow down for some people, breathing and relaxing. Yeah, there's some healing for some people in August. September, so some anxiety again for people in September as we talk about people going back to school, that sort of thing. It's weird for me to even think about all this stuff in the future, but it is good to be mindful of as we can go back to this video and look and recall some of the things that were discussed. Queen of Wands is saying that your back may hurt. So I don't know if this is a pregnancy energy for someone. This is saying that And it's a very different energy in September. It's saying that like your creative endeavors are paying off. So anything that you've been doing creatively, you will really start to feel the positive feelings from all the work that you've been doing. It's an example of a gardener, and then all of a sudden that they're able to sell all their vegetables. So they've been working hard, but then they can sell those things. But they can also look back at the beautiful things that they've done. So I think it's going to be a month of action, but reflection. So you're getting into a place in your life where you can finally say, oh, okay, so this is what I've been spending all my time doing. I think maybe for some people, like I said, you may be actually able to stop for a second and look at everything you've been doing. So yeah, just I'm hearing not to piece that one together, that it's about self-reflection. So October, new close is coming up in October, dealing with sides of ourselves that we don't like and flipping them. So dealing with our human sides that we don't like. It could be past life related. It could be that we have addictions, past life behaviors that keep coming up. It could be that we're not dealing with ourselves, but also there are sides to ourselves that are starting to come out that we didn't even know existed. That's not always a bad thing. It's usually just a very, very strong part of ourselves. And I feel like I'm part of that too. I feel like I'm going to really, really change in this month of October too, because we're here to learn and we're here to grow. So you're going to find that you're going to start noticing that in yourself, whether it's good or bad. Changes are going to happen, and it's going to force you to, like I said, look within, deal with it, and move forward. And it's going to make you a better person, hopefully, as a result. Oh, and then here it comes in November. We'll say end of October, mid-November. Eight of Cups. This is a person who's letting go of a relationship. These are past behaviors. These are, I'm hearing you're retrieving something. So you're looking back at the past and deciding maybe you wanted a person in your life that was in your life. It could be that there are pieces to your life that you're finally piecing together and saying, okay, look, this is what I do want for myself. I want horses, and I'm feeling like I may get into getting a horse or working with horses, which is great. But it's a big, big, big month for retrieving and looking at past lives is coming up. It's just like look at, and I have a connection to horses in my past life, saying just like admire yourself rather than worrying or thinking that everything's perfect. Just like embrace living and love, and that's it. So end of November. Money, money, money. Well, no wonder I want a horse. End of November, and again, getting back into Christmas. I can't believe I'm putting this out and we're talking about Christmas for next year, but this is saying going back to grounding yourself, some solitude, listening to people who are high achievers. What have they been doing? What have you been doing that maybe was wrong, that you could have looked at the other people and to see what they were doing, and or compromising with people. Maybe you thought you were right when you were wrong, that sort of thing. So it's saying demand more from yourself at this time. And that could have multiple meanings, but I'm feeling like I'm being shown that I should be wearing a necklace, but I'm not, which is weird because I am, and this is the chakra necklace. So obviously I think it's like working on healing through lots and lots of different types of therapeutic things. I think of working with horses in a therapeutic way. How can they help me and help others? So look at the things that you have, maybe that you were spending money on, and find ways to look at how they're helping you. So have more of a spiritual connection to how you spend your money, rather than looking at everything as kind of just every mundane stuff. We have to look deeper. That's why colors are coming up, and just some meanings behind things. That's going to be really strong in November. Last card Ace of Swords. So, Tortier is coming up. That's funny because usually the family that I spend Christmas with has Tortier at Christmas. And so that's what I was hearing, that sometimes there are things in our lives that just magically appear. And we think that things are like negative when they're actually positive. So there are going to be lots of, I feel like miracles are happening for some people in the month of December. We're accepting people for just the way that they are. Finally, it feels. But again, it's been a long time coming, but everything has its own time. So if you feel like throughout 2018 you need to be really patient, December, I think, is kind of saying that the good things are going to come. It's just we may not even acknowledge it in December. So again, this is some 2019 stuff. But yeah, it's really where we put our mind. So in December, it's going to be a time of dealing with some energies that have been really challenging, but it's all going to be worth it. So if I could say one thing for 2018, to be patience and perseverance, and know that you will overcome all these leaps and bounds, that you need to be honest with yourself, even if it's not easy, that there'll be a lot of emotional growth for you. If you're a talented person, really starting to reach out to people and showcase your talents, because I feel like you're going to feel really good about it as time goes on, and you're going to be able to kind of, I want to say, see the fruits of your labor for some people. And regardless, you're going to really start appreciating, I think, yourself and where you are in this world. So I hope that you guys found this helpful. I know I certainly did. And if you like this, please do. Otherwise, you can check me out on my Facebook and Instagram page, or robinshealing.com if you would like a personal reading. Have an awesome year. Bye!